This lady, Rhoda Osmond, burst onto the scene last year where she had video of her face being swollen, being, busted. She claimed that she had been hit with a brick, and she was on there saying that she got hit with a brick, and all these men stood around and did nothing. You had people like Cynthia G and the Pink Pill, and many of these women channels that bash men made hundreds and thousands of dollars. Making videos, doubling down on the things that men don't do and the things and the abuse that men bring to women. And this woman had videos of her slapping men, and it was just a whole promoting LGBT and so many different things. Everything that she was doing and talking was like anti-man. um she's a foreigner, and she had the internet really going crazy. People was all over the internet just doing a lot of talking, and there was already a division in the black community. But people like Tariq Nasheed, begin to speak up, and other people. But before this, what she didn't know was the news. There's surveillance cameras everywhere, and surveillance cameras is telling a different story to the story that she told. And now she has a warrant for her arrest. And this is what the news has been saying about her. Let's check this out.
The detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No. That was not verified.
Harris County prosecutor Keith Houston says surveillance videos from that early September morning show Osmond hitting a man first.
So she's the one she was the aggressor?
She was the aggressor, yes.
And it was a water bottle that hit her, not a brick?
He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
According to court documents, she asked someone else to launch this GoFundMe for her recovery, raising more than $42,000. But as the story went viral, a blogger on TikTok called police, alerting them to this 2020 GoFundMe, which claimed a vicious assault by a security guard in Minneapolis. Prosecutors allege theft by deception and believe she would have received all that money had the campaign not been shut down. The GoFundMe has zero tolerance for the misuse of our platform. The fundraiser has been removed from the platform. All donors have been refunded, and Rhoda Osmond has been banned from using the platform for any future fundraisers. Osmond did not respond when I reached out to her on Instagram this evening. Tonight, she is wanted here in Harris County on that theft charge. Anyone with information on her whereabouts can report that to Houston Police.
Tariq Nasheed again weighed in on this, and one of the things that he spoke about is the dissension that she caused in the black community, because we already have a problem with black men and black women, the division. So when this woman that's black, but she's an immigrant, came in and she began to speak on the rhetoric and the lies that actually happened to her. Again, like I said, black women ran to the defense of this woman, and black men was being thrown under the bus. So a lot of black women attached with what they've been through in their life, maybe with black men, to the same thing. So black men became public enemy number one and the number one pariahs. But let's look at what Tariq Nasheed had to say, and then we'll come right back.
Say there was a situation where she said some sisters jumped on her. So yeah, somebody said she did this whole routine, this whole shtick about 3 times. So this woman is a Somalian immigrant. I read her story before. Her family, they were escaping the war-torn homeland, and they done moved all around. And, this woman is weird. And the family, man, this is why we've been out here delineating, because this type of stuff is a bad look. Yeah, she's always accusing somebody of something. Shout out to Nikki the God, our good FBA sister. She called her out. The sisters were calling her out. But that whole tether scam thing, this is why we've been delineating. We're not hating on our non-FBA brothers and sisters, but family. You guys are still family, but the riffraffs from among you, this is why, family. We're not just saying, hey, we're delineating just to be on something funny style. This type of stuff right here is not the business. Y'all have the tether class who come over here with that scamming mentality, and they cause complete havoc among us. This has caused havoc among us. You understand? We just don't want to be associated with weird tethers, man. We just don't, and we shouldn't have to be. If we went over to your homeland doing this weirdo ass stuff, we would get stoned and whipped in the streets. You understand? That woman, let's be real, she went out of her way to undermine FBA.
The problem that I have with this is this. Number one, a lot of these groups see black Americans, from afar. They want to come to America and basically do the things or achieve the things that we've achieved in this country. But a lot of times you guys come here with your nose up in the air, looking down on us and celebrating the white man. And you come here and a lot of you come in and you cause a lot of problems. Now, is that all the immigrants? No, because you have a lot of decent immigrants that do come to this country. But you have some that come here and they ain't on the up and up. And this is the thing, like Tariq said, if we was in her country and we went there behaving like this, they would stone us to death. We would be put in jail. You may be put to death with some of the things. Some of the stuff that these people say when they come here, the way that they behave, like she's totally out of line, man. She's totally out of line. So I don't blame a lot of our people that want to separate themselves, because when I was growing up, there wasn't a large separation with our immigrant group, especially me being here in Philadelphia. Like, we was all together. But now they come here, they got special names for you. They don't want to be a part of the black community. A lot of them don't even consider themselves black. So it's a different time than what it was 30 years ago when I was a teenager and we was wearing red, black, and green medallions. We was marching in the streets and arguing for the release of Nelson Mandela. And we had a global ear as black Americans trying to help everybody. Well, them days is over because a lot of those groups, they didn't return the favor. They didn't return the favor. They come here and they thumb their nose up at us for her. So now for her to be an immigrant, come to America, knowing the history of black Americans, and for her to accuse a man of doing something where the surveillance video now claims that that's not what happened, and to lie and see the division that she caused. When she see the division, she goes on a run. She makes videos, still double downing on what she said. This goes to show you the thought process of some of these people and why we do have to delineate and separate and say, hey, that ain't us. That ain't us. And a lot of people from the Somalian community should basically separate themselves from that way of thinking if you're going to live in America. It's a crazy thing. But again, this is a wake up call for FBA and black Americans. Like, listen, we got to shut the front door and stop and leaving our door wide open, allowing people just to come in and sit down and they don't know how to behave. That means that we got to tighten up our ranks. We got to get ourselves together. We got to start respecting and treating each other better. Other groups can't come in and accuse a black man or a black woman of something. We just go against each other because we look weak to the world. So what she doing is a direct reflection of our dysfunction within the communities that we live in. So those are the real conversations that need to be had. What she has done is a direct reflection of our continual dysfunction. So she tried to get that black man arrested. Just imagine if they didn't have the video cameras. If they didn't have the video cameras, what would happen to that black man? Just off the word of this woman, she could have just said anything, and he'd have been castigated and basically stoned through American court system. Nobody wouldn't have cared because everybody was looking at her face. And they saying that the police is saying that the video surveillance doesn't add up to the story that she gave. So hanging in the balance was a black man's life. Nobody would have cared. Nobody would have cared. They'd have threw him to the wolves. So I'm glad that justice is going to prevail here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and share the Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.